1,000,000 to 1, Entry 1. The End of the World. I'm not really sure how to say it. Well, that's not entirely true. I know the words and I know the order in which to put them, but I'm not sure how to explain what just happened without sounding unbelievable. Sorry to be blunt, but I'm going to come right out and say it. The world just ended, I said aloud to myself and nobody else. It may have been the softest whisper I've ever uttered. So soft, in fact, that if anyone else was around to hear it, they might have confused it for the sound of a light breeze. But there is no breeze where I am. There is nothing where I am, wherever I am. I am currently doubting whether or not I even am at where I am, if that makes any sense. Okay, it probably doesn't. Sorry if I'm not exactly 100% sure of what I'm saying right now. Hard to blame a guy who just saw the entire world end right before his eyes. Oh yeah, you're probably still wondering about that, huh? Forgive me, I've been known to go off track at times. Bad habits die hard, even in the face of Armageddon. So what was it like? Well, it was not as long as I'd imagined it would be. Not that I made a habit of thinking about all the ways the world was going to end on a regular basis, but you know, the thoughts do cross our minds from time to time. I was just minding my own business, much like everyone else I'd imagine. And then, everything got quiet. Deathly quiet. Complete silence. The kind of silence you might experience if you were a hostage and some asshole was pointing a gun at your head to shut you up so the police would walk by unaware of the situation. Not that I'd ever been in that predicament, but I would assume you would hear absolutely nothing in that moment of tension. Anyway, it was kind of like that, I guess. It got really quiet, and moments later there was a massive white flash. A blinding white flash, the brightest of all whites, so bright that it probably doesn't even exist on the color spectrum. I felt an excruciating pain for just a brief instant, and then there was nothing. And here I am. I know, right? Not terribly exciting in any way. In fact, if I had at some point been looking forward to when the world finally came to an end, I'd wager I'd be pretty disappointed. Where were the screams of the masses? Where were the burning buildings and the flood of sirens? The very ground breaking apart, the sky painted red, and the soldiers who might have thought they'd been prepared, but just ended up dying like everyone else. Nope, none of that. Instead we get blinding white flash, scorching pain, and then nothing. Like I said, it was kind of a letdown overall. But that wasn't what was bothering me. It was the inevitable questions that followed. Questions such as, how did the world end? Why did the world end? Who or what caused this? And my personal favorite, was there anything I could have done to avoid this? I inquired the blank nothingness that surrounded me, not really expecting a response. If I had eyes anymore, I would have closed them solemnly and tried my best just not to think anymore. The world. Everything I had ever known was gone. What good would thinking do me now? What good would it do anyone now? But my thoughts came through anyway. It's not like I had anything else to do. But the truth stabbed through my non-existent heart. The truth that, even if I had known, there was nothing I could have done. Nothing anyone could have done, but especially me. I was just some kid. There was nothing all that special about me, and now, there never would be. Wait a minute. What is that? It looks like a door. Yeah, it's a door. Nothing special about it from what I can tell. It's brown and clearly made of wood, but it's just your regular run-of-the-mill door. But what is a door doing here? It wasn't here a moment ago. But I feel like it didn't just suddenly appear before me. Without feeling the sensation of movement, my vision zoomed closer to the door. There were words carved into the center of it. I read them aloud to myself. Alia iacta est. I feel like I know what that means, but I can't seem to recall. Out of the corner of my vision, I saw the brass knob turn and pull itself away from the floating doorframe. The door in front of me had swung open by itself, and I stared into the deepest black I'd ever seen. The startling contrast to the rest of my current environment was a little too much to take in so fast, and I barely even noticed how I seemed to fall right into it. There were so many questions and virtually zero answers, but there is one thing I know for sure. I don't want it to end like this. I will not let it end like this. Entry 1. End.